I'm here with Leanne from Scott Country International, which I kind of want to find out what you're all about, Leanne. What Scott International do?
So Scott Country are retailers of wildlife trail cameras, and we also have the thermal cameras, which I've got one with me here. They do have night vision, but this is different to night vision. So there's two different forms of infrared. The typical one that people think about with night vision is, you see it mostly as like green. That is shortwave infrared. So you won't be able to see any heat signatures. This actually sees the heat signatures, so it's long wave, and it's actually blocked by glass. So these lenses are made out of germanium and not glass.
Okay, so let's just kind of break that down, because that's a lot of information for somebody with a small brain like me to take on board. So when you say wildlife cameras, you're talking about remote cameras that are going to be attached to trees in the woods, in the forest, to kind of get sort of remote pictures of animals as they pass by.
Yeah, so they've got quite a range of different ones. There's one which I think is really cool, that's a 360-degree one. So it's actually got sensors all the way around the outside. There's one camera in it, but when a sensor is triggered, depending on where it is, the camera actually moves to that point and it'll start recording for 90 seconds. So that's more than enough for most wildlife, but it's really cool. It's the only one on the market that does it.
Okay, that sounds good. Now, you said this is a thermal imaging camera, so explain to me what that means. I'm thinking wildlife documentary type thing, filming out into the dark, is that right?
Yeah, so a lot of people might have seen thermal imaging in Planet Earth 2 with the leopards. This will do a very similar thing. You can use it during the day as well as at night. It just helps you find animals, particularly elusive animals. If you're in the woods and a lot of the animals are camouflaged, this will help you see them. So you can see birds in trees, you can see animals in the back of the woods. It'll actually see a man-sized target from over a mile away. So it's got quite a long range on it.
Oh, that sounds cool. And so, words, are you just using it to video animals in the dark and see where they are, or are you also using it to kind of work out where they're going to be, maybe to go back, to try and photograph them with stills photography as well?
Yeah, I mean, you can actually use it as a camera itself. It does video, it does photos. I personally use it connected to my main camera, which is a video camera. I have it mounted on the top so that wherever this is pointing, my camera is pointing, and so I know that if it sees it on there, I know my camera's in the right direction and I can get a good shot, hopefully.
Well, no, absolutely. That makes total sense to me. Kind of, how to use it in the and kind of what kind of cost is one of these? If somebody's want to come along to the stand and talk to you guys about it.
Well, it's not £100, unfortunately. The entry-level model starts at sort of £1,400. That's the show price today, so it's normally £2,000. This one that I've got here is the top of the range. It's £3,600. So it's kind of your rough average DSLR prices, but we recognise that they're quite niche. Not everybody's going to need them, but they are very, very useful. And we do actually hire them as well. So you can hire it out if you're only using it for a few days.
Yeah, okay. So I guess obviously it'd be great to sell them, but a hiring option is on there if it's something you want to do. Now I know, because a little bird told me, that you've used this in a wildlife documentary project that you've worked on recently. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so it's a project called the Tigers of Scotland, and for those people who don't know, actually Scotland has wild cats. They're not domestic cats that have gone feral, they are their own species, and they're very, very rare and very elusive, and so one of these came in really handy in helping us track them and find them to film.
So you used them in the way that we were talking about earlier, to find out where they were in, obviously, because the forests in Scotland, I'm guessing at the Cairngorms area, that kind of area?
Yeah, so we were actually in the far north. We didn't go to the Cairngorms, so it was an area that a friend of ours lives in, and she knew where they were, which is always helpful. But yeah, they're very rare, so they've only got isolated pockets of populations left. Cairngorms is one of the areas, though.
Okay, great stuff. So everybody, if you want to see in the dark, it's Scott Country International that you want to come along and talk to.